I'm getting deja vu. Not sure why.
What's this deja vu?
Open the damn ruins! Thank you! Yes, I know the ruins are terrible, I know!
Knock yourself out! Maybe we will. Because of how fun it is! Yay! Make him breathe underwater. I guess that means he breathes. So is he a robot or a person or what?
That's a good question. Alright.
The second key is in here somewhere. Be careful, Mega Man. Don't rush things.
Don't rush
It's a really
things.
complex structure. Be careful you don't get lost.
Be careful you don't get lost. And don't
Welcome to the worst part of the game. Because of pretty much every possible thing that could go wrong with a water dungeon, it goes wrong. Like pretty much the only thing that this dungeon doesn't have is is having to breathe. Because you get the rebreather already. Pretty much everything else, though. Yeah, this is pretty much the most infamous part of the game. Like, everyone is like, yeah, here comes the worst part of the game.
There's something that looks like a large cliff in the room ahead of you. I'm not picking up any Reaver bots.
I'm not picking up any Reaver bots except for the ones that you were shooting at the exact moment I am speaking.
She means at the bottom of it, like a boss Reaver bot. Yeah, just map out the place while you can. Because it's gonna get bad. It's gonna get bad fast. Especially with rooms like this. Where I'm just gonna go through this now. This is the fastest way to get to do this. Sometimes the jump's bad. Sometimes the thing just won't work. Where other times he'll do this. He'll do that dodge roll thing. And you can't pick these up. When the room's like this, at least.
But it's too high for you to jump into. Look around and see if there's anything you could climb on.
Which we can't move that. So what do? Well, the part that's gonna make this dungeon terrible. Or it's like, huh, what do you mean this is a water dungeon?
Too high for you to jump. If there was something around there you could stand on, maybe you could get over it.
Oh. Button. Sluice control access. Do you want to flood floor B2?
No, but
It looks like the floor beneath you is filled with water.
Well, everybody, here we go.
That is a jump.
And remember knockback?
Oh no!
And you might be wondering, what are you talking about? Just grab the padded armor Omega. It prevents knockback. It prevents knockback from slight attacks. When you're jumping, you still get knockback. And so you might be wondering then, we got the hydro jets. Doesn't that help? Yes, it does. It allows you to move faster. But guess what? You can't jump and you can't shoot in this mode. What is this game? A platform shooter game. And also, as you saw, the turning is not the best. So if you want to go in a straight line, it's perfect. But guess what else?
Since things are lighter in water, you can pick up things you weren't able to before.
Now you have to pick stuff up, so you can't even use the hydro jets.
Why are you jumping? Why are you jumping?
Because it's faster than walking.
Is it? Doesn't look much faster.
Look, it feels faster, and that's what counts.
That might be faster. I can't tell.
Yeah, that's the knockback speed, by the way. Now imagine. Now, remember that platform thing I was.
Oh, hi.
I'm not even gonna bother with most of the enemies here.
It's probably fair. Kaboom.
Well, as long as I'm able to not bother with them, I mean. Because, yeah, even your shots are slowed down in water.
It doesn't even make much sense. The rest of it makes sense. Shots doesn't really make sense. I mean, maybe if they were physical bullets, but I'm pretty sure they're not. And if they were physical bullets that were being slowed down, they'd probably do less damage too. But I don't think they do that.
And I'm glad the enemies don't drop that much money here. Because, well,
I mean,
they disappear really fast.
That seems like only a benefit if they did drop more money, because even if you couldn't pick it up, because on the off chance that you can't pick it up, you're just gonna end up with more money afterward. So it's just better if they did drop.
The text box is slower.
Why is the text box?
Because they just slowed down everything in the game. Because water. Water. Don't you love water? So, Joel, what do you think?
So far it seems but not oh gosh. So far this seems like the part of the game that I would be like, oh, it's this part. Okay, I'll do it.
Oh, by the way, this is one of the longest dungeons of the game.
Oh, yeah. Obviously. Unless they
No,
pick
I
one
mean
of-
lengthwise. Not
Yeah.
just because of the water. I'm meaning like structure-wise
Okay.
as well.
I guess we'll see. But I was very intending to emphasize. I was very much intending to emphasize
There's a switch really close to you.
so far.
By the way, notice all the walls that we could break through, but we can't. Yeah, you have to backtrack to this area if you want to get all the stuff in it.
Okay.
Man, I love trying to put. Can I not get to that box? Okay, never mind.
Yeah, wouldn't it be nice if you could place?
Yeah, that'd be good. Probably.
Yeah, that's what
Oh, sorry, I don't know. Because there's no just place option. There. Is there anything over here? Oh, there's a door. Okay. Oh, by the way, they tease you multiple times through this area. This is a thing to remove all the water here. Where it's like, oh boy, I can go through this area normally then. There's the puzzles with the blocks and everything. And the stairs that you have to climb up. That you can't do so.
So they're like, you can turn the water off, except for you have no reason to turn the water off right now.
Mm-hmm. Where literally it is detrimental to you
It's just a waste of
to
time
drain water.
Drain the water there.
Yep. There, they trick you into removing the water. That way you can move faster. But then, it's a few rooms later, you have to backtrack. And put the water back on. Luckily, this is not one of those games where all the puzzles reset when you leave a room, as you see here. So it doesn't go that bad.
Reaver box in the room ahead of you. Move carefully. Maybe they won't notice you.
These guys give a lot of money, and they just aim toward you, so it's pretty easy to attack them.
Walking slowly through the Nino Ruins.
So if you're wondering, there's 5 floors. And there's a bunch of side paths, and having to backtrack out of the dungeon once you finish it.
I'm showing 3 Reaver bots nearby. They're big ones too. Be careful.
Thanks. Mega Man, please, shoot the robots.
Well, they really just sit upside down and wait to die, don't they?
Yeah, well, they're turtles. Have you ever seen a turtle upside down? They can't do much.
Yeah, but it's a video game turtle, and video game turtles sometimes get back up.
Now, what are you talking about? Bowser never gets up. Once Bowser falls, he is just done. Is that not the case?
It's like one of his. That's one of his like best qualities is that he at least metaphorically, that he always gets back up after he fails. Jellyfishing, jellyfishing.
I forgot about this boss. So, you know what I said about having to backtrack?
Yeah.
That boss is a special case, where if you try to fight it in the water, you are in the hard mode! It is the one instance in the dungeon where it's like, you can't actually progress through the dungeon, but it is a better idea to face that boss when there's no water. Because you remove one of its strongest attacks.
So there is actually a reason to turn the water off here then?
Yeah, here, now, you can turn the water off. Like, other times you probably shouldn't, but now you are able to, with no consequence. You will have to turn it back on later. Because, again, puzzles. It also makes these enemies way easier to deal with, because they aren't charging right at you. Stupid fish. Free money! God, it feels like the game's like fast-forwarded now.
A little bit. We turned on turbo mode.
So yeah, these move incredibly fast in the water. And again, you move incredibly slowly in the water.
Let's see.
Like, imagine a bullet hell when your character moves like 1 frame a second.
Nathan, you can move? Because of his Undertale John. It's a funny joke. Nice status effects. Very fun and enjoyable. So go stripping.
By the way, they're also able to move if you have the water on. Which means they're charging toward you with all the projectiles going around. So yeah, this fight sucks if you're in the water. For the love of God, don't do it. Save yourself.
And I guess when we take a guess, roll doesn't suggest turning off the water or anything.
Did you see her? Say it?
I mean, it could be like if you try to fight them for a little bit.
No.
She says it, but yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, notice how many shots it takes? I have free attack. And here's where you need to turn the water on.
Cool.
Man, I don't remember turtles moving that fast.
Are you seeing Goofy in Cage too?
That's not a turtle, that's a dog.
In Pride Lands. When he's a turtle.
That turtle also jumps over a cliff, which they never show how the hell he does that.
Well, he jumps from a higher cliff to a lower cliff, so he probably just moves really fast.
Did you see how long of a jump that is?
He spin with big speed. He spin with much speedy. This is a dog that turns himself into torpedo as an attack.
Shut up!
When he's in dog form, he can basically fly, apparently. And in KH1, he actually learns glide. I forget how slow it is until you come back to it.
I don't care anymore.
Maybe I'm just weird, but like so far I have not seen. I've seen like a couple things where I'm like, okay, yeah, that's pretty bad. But there's like quite a bit of this. I'm just kind of like, well, it wouldn't be my favorite part of it.
Wait until we have to platform.
Yeah, that's when that's what I've been kind of waiting on. And I'm like, I think I remember him saying there's platforming. That doesn't sound.
Yeah, remember that platform tower that went back and forth? Imagine at this speed, where Mega Man can do that dodge roll thing if you are unprepared for it. Where sometimes the game just takes your X input as 2 inputs, and then Mega Man dashes to the side, right off the tower, and you have to climb it all over again.
Does that happen even if you're... Is that only if you're jumping sideways, or...?
Yeah, but guess what? That's the easiest way to climb that tower because of the weird platforming in this game.
You could turn the camera and not jump sideways.
Yes, but turning sideways makes you able to notice where it is, because otherwise you're taking a blind leap.
You can't...
Because otherwise you'll overshoot the jump because of the water physics.
You can't control your movement in the air in this game?
You can, just very slightly.
Yeah. Maybe I'll see what I think when I see it. I like how Mega Man's grabbing on a little ledge with a gun. With his gun arm. How does that work?
He's done it before. Where have you been?
I assume he turned it into a hand, but I just now realized that he didn't.
Yeah, it's not like the 8-bit games where it's just like a retractable hand that can turn into a gun. Slow movements.
So you just got a samosa arm cannon.
Actually, I just realized I do have the drill arm. Why haven't I been opening those? I'll get them later, actually. That way I know where they all are because I'll have the map data. Which, no, we still haven't gotten. Now that I think about it, you got the map really late in Water Temple and Ocarina of Time, too.
And you're just trying to make that comparison. Does it for your case that this is a bad dungeon?
No, I'm just saying that there's a lot of similarities here.
It looks like
Here we go!
sign on the wall there, too. Do you see anything to stand on?
So, guess what? There are multiple places like this where you have to use the hydro jets to get into these optional areas. Sadly, there's literally nothing here, apparently.
Ow. Bonk.
Knockback's fun! What's the camera doing?
He's trying his best and not succeeding. You know, so far the knockback from enemies is like the worst. Looks like the worst part for me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's why. The enemy's on top of me. That's why the camera's freaking the hell out.
Yeah, that's what I thought it probably was.
Just want chest.
What do you mean by that, Mega Man?
I want the treasure chest.
That's a very nice chest.
Just like rolls. Fetch and increased.
Where's that?
Good thing these are crystals, otherwise I'd be questioning why this money's in the water dungeon. Yay, nothing! Dungeons are fun, guys! There we go. Another door for something else, but I'll deal with that later. I do like these enemies where instead of a flamethrower, they shoot bubbles now.
Yo, it's slow motion.
Reminder that the best way to fight those is jumping up into the air and shooting through their through the hole in their shield.
I mean,
Where in
seems
this
like
one
waiting
you-
for him to shoot and then shooting him back actually seems to work pretty well. Maybe it's not consistent.
Every now and then.
Maybe that's not consistent.
Yeah, it's not consistent at all. $30 by the way.
Yeah.
Okay, I think this is the one I was thinking of where you need to use the hydro jets to get something from the other side of the room.
There's a door really high up on the wall, Mega Man, just above where you came in. It's so high, you won't even be able to climb up there. So, how do you get in?
That's an optional room, by the way. Thank the gods you don't have to actually get up there. Because, did you see all the enemies up there? Yeah. Imagine climbing all the way up these platforms, then falling. Because of knockback. Yeah, I'm saying screw that optional room and every bit of it.
Yeah, I think I can say if you're doing if you're trying to 100% this dungeon, yeah, it's gonna be terrible. It's not gonna be a good dungeon at all. It's gonna be the worst.
Luckily, the plot progression door is this one. Thank God! Otherwise, I probably would have said this is one of the worst dungeons of all time if you had to make that jump
I never would have thought there'd be a place like this here.
Yeah, I could see that.
Mega Man, there's a giant reaper bot in the middle of that area. Huh? It doesn't look like it's going to attack you, though. Hey, I've got an idea. Why don't you try jumping on that reaper bot's back?
Here's your plot. Here's your platforming part that I was talking about. This guy will eventually go upwards on near these towers where you can jump for chests. What's that? You missed the jump? Well, better wait for this guy to move through his cycle again. And you know the water physics of this game, making the jumps quite awkward to make.
Yeah, okay. And then I guess this was mandatory.
Yes, one of the chests in here holds a key that is essential.
And of course, there's more than one of them. Yeah, this. I can already see how bad this is, and I haven't even seen it go wrong yet.
You're in the middle of that area? On my scanner, I can see what looks like a key on top of it. Can you see it?
Oh, this isn't it. Oh, nice pillar that has nothing on it. And this room is huge!
Oh, I think that on the map that yellow square might be.
Yeah, that's why it gives you the treasure data. That's the treasure data thing that I picked up earlier. I don't even know if that's the key or not.
So that's just saying that there's treasure there?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it means there's a chest there.
Man, I was gonna give this game some credit.
No, that's the thing that I picked up earlier. There's the key. And at the edge of this room's the door to progression.
Yeah, I can see if you were missing jumps there, it would have been. 'Cause if you were going to the one with the key and you missed the jump there, you'd have to wait like what, a whole minute or two to try again?
Yep. Guess what happened to me on my first playthrough? I've made that jump so many times that I know one-to-one where to make it now. Because I miss it like a good 8 times. Like I was there for like half an hour.
Yeah, that's fair.
Alright, so you might be tempted to use data here, go fight the boss up ahead. Don't do that yet! Because after you fight the boss, this data disappears! So if you want to do anything in the dungeon, this is the best time to do it. Because you have to fight 2 bosses afterwards. The data is once you the data after this one disappears is after the dungeon. Once you get out of here.
So you gotta save here, and then you have to fight a boss, and then
you have to fight a boss here, go through the whole dungeon, all the way back to floor 1, through all of this, again, then you fight a boss here, at the beginning of the dungeon. Then you get a save.
I see.
So Joel, I'm asking you now, do you want me to go grab some of the chests because there is a lot of money to grab here and some roll parts? Do it now or do it after the fight? Because I do have all my canteen.
I mean...
Wait a minute. How are you alive?
It's just a stuffed pig.
No, it's an actual pig.
No, it's Mr. Mew, remember? It's just a stuffed animal.
So, Joel, gonna answer...
So what you're saying is, do we do it and then be able to save afterward and then do the bosses?
Yeah.
That might be safer to do.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking if you want me to do that, or I can just
probably
grab it on the way out.
I'd probably grab them now.
Okay. Sorry, everyone, but... yeah. I don't want to go grabbing chests and then have to go through this whole damn area again. But yeah, I pretty much did that fish room optimal way as well, because he was in the perfect... like, I didn't miss a single jump and I got all the chests on my first try. And now I get to show you why this part sucks. Why these platforms suck.
Yeah. Can you just... like, as soon as you're confident that you're going to get far enough, you could just pull back? Would that work?
Sort of, but not exact fully. Mostly because of the water physics here.
Yeah, I definitely think that
Yeah, I'm not bothering with the chests over there, by the way.
you have any idea what's in it?
Nope. I think it's money.
Okay, yeah, that's not worth it. If it was like a really, really powerful like weapon upgrade or something.
It's not for the best weapon of the game. Like, there is an actual best weapon of the game. It's not over there.
I don't necessarily mean best weapon of the game, but maybe the
It's
best
not a
weapon
good enough.
The best weapon for a good while or something.
No. No, not at all.
Okay,
It's
that's
just
the only
money
way
over
that
there.
would be. That's the only way I'd say that's worth getting. And even then, I would. It's the only way I would say even consider getting it. The way that being the case, especially if it's just money, I'm gonna say that is never worth it. Never do it unless you are literally doing 100%. Unless it was like literally, unless you're literally doing the playthrough where you're making that requirement for yourself to get that chest, don't get it.
Yeah, it is a pain in the ass. It's mostly because of the enemies there, honestly, that make that an irritating hell to get to as well. Like, you're spending long enough here. Do you really want to continue like that? Hit him from the back. It's not even good music either.
It's like, it's fine. I wouldn't say it's bad music.
Yeah, but I'm not saying it's good either. I wouldn't say it's good. Alright.
It's like B minus level. It's fine.
Yeah, but for, like, water tracks, it is very low on water track tier lists. Like, that's usually the one saving grace of most water levels. I want to say.
Look, on the one hand, for a water level, this doesn't seem way too terrible for the most part, except for very specific parts. But then on the other hand, I'm like, wait a second. That's just, then I think about it, I'm like, wait a second, what water levels do I actually agree with most people on being terrible? Because, like, the two most infamous water levels I can think of, I actually think are way overhated. Meaning, Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. Water Temple and Lake Pit Temple. I think both are not nearly as bad as they're made out to be. Then again, I have not played the original N64.
Yeah, you played the 3DS
Temple.
one, which is fixed. That's the fixed water temple.
I actually legitimately like the Lake Bed Temple, though, so...
Yeah, I don't get why people hate that one so much.
I mean, I kind of get it as far as,
I
like...
forgot I was in the water.
I kind of get it as far as, like, you have to, as far as, like, it's really difficult to get through the dungeon without, in one cycle. But I'm like, honestly, if Majora's Mask was expecting you to get through an entire dungeon in one cycle, I honestly think on a first playthrough, you shouldn't really be expecting to get through every dungeon in one cycle.
Yeah, that's why it gives you, like, the teleporter once you be, like, or at least gives you an item when you get past the mini-boss.
I can see why people wouldn't... I can see why people wouldn't enjoy, having to
I thought
redo
you were a
stuff.
regular fish.
Like, the fact that they have to redo certain stuff, that they have to redo it on a second cycle, but... Personally, I'm not too bothered by that. I think it's because I understand the...
Of all the dungeons to spam these, why this one? Oh, I don't care.
Yeah, that is something that I've learned about when there are crappy enemies in games. A lot of the time you can just be like, well, this is a crappy enemy, I'm just not going to fight you. And
Yeah, and then you get lose half your health.
Better than dying 5 times.
There we go, map data.
I'd rather lose half my HP and get out and have that
Look how much of
move
this
on.
is still here. Drag through.
Cool.
So yeah, if you're wondering... Okay, yeah, I think that's just money over there. If I remember correctly for basement 4 or 5. So yeah, that's where you fight the boss the first time. Then you have to go through all of this just to get out.
Plot twist, it unlocks a new game plus where you play as role, and it's the coolest thing ever.
Time for me to question. Actually need the water in floor 4 for anything.
Or it's an item that makes it so you ignore the water physics.
No, there is none. The best thing you get is the hydrojets.
Yeah, I'm joking.
Aren't the hydrojets amazing?
Better than nothing, I guess.
Okay, I don't think you actually need the water in basement 4 for anything. Turn that shit off! And that's when I found out that you need it for something, and then I cried. Bye.
Flames! See, that's why you turn the camera.
Yeah, but it's faster to go the other way as long as Mega Man cooperates. And then you overshoot it, and then you have to jump all the way back up.
Well, at least if you overshoot it, you know it's your fault and not the game just screwing you over. And you know that it's at least something you could theoretically do differently. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I appreciate knowing that maybe I actually like it better. Maybe it's weird that I like it better when I know it's my fault and it's not the game's fault. I'm trying to think of, like, what water levels do I actually... Are there any water levels that I actually really hate in games? I mean, I think it would generally be 3D water levels, because those are, like, the most notoriously frustrating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some people say stuff like the water levels in the original Mario Brothers, but it's like I feel like those are more just difficulty spikes than being like bad levels.
Difficulty spikes and maybe the different mechanics might throw you off a little bit.
But killing these guys for health, if you're wondering.
That's reasonable.
Like, the money's just a bonus. Since I'm already going for chests. And yes, I know I could have gotten these on the way because I had the drill arm. One, I forgot I had the drill arm. Secondly, I didn't want to die. I didn't want to grab all these and then die. And die.
Yeah, if you have to wait till land or open up the door, that is definitely not faster. I could say it maybe being faster. in some situations. But then again, in most of the situations where jumping would be faster, I think it might be faster to use, even faster to use the aqua jet. 'Cause it seems like you pretty much can only jump in a straight line. So. This is my thinking.
Yeah, I'll do it from now on. Sorry, Mr. Joel.
I'm just trying to be helpful. Not trying to get on your case, I'm trying to be helpful.
Look, just staring at the same hallway for like 10 seconds makes my brain turn off, okay? And the music's not engaging me enough to turn my brain back on. I'm sorry, but I just don't like this music track at all. Like, I get what they were going for. Mysterious water! And it's like, one before I just go and fight the boss, because the stuff on floor 2 is already... Floor 2 is not too bad to just go through on the way. I just want to go through like these longer areas beforehand. Yeah, honestly, it's the speed that's the worst part of this dungeon. It's just like, why make it so slow?
I think they could have done it with it being really slow. They just need to make the dungeons smaller to make up for it.
Yeah, again, this is one of the longer dungeons of the game.
The dungeon should be smaller, not bigger. And the knockback is kind of slow.
Well, again, it's because they literally slowed down everything. And this is the wrong way to go here. Can I hybrid jet through this? Okay, no. So I gotta go the other way. This was all a waste of time! I have to go the other way for that chest! Why even have this part? It's literally just here for these enemies, which are already in the dungeon.
Ah, good question. Because they think that making the player suffer is difficulty.
Maybe they just think the longer you take on the game, the more you think, wow, that was a great experience! Length equals good! That's why we upped all the health of all the enemies.
I mean, honestly, I think that...
Oh, we're 55 minutes in, we should probably...
Yeah. I do think that sometimes when people are like, changing the health to damage values is just bad difficulty design. I don't think that's always the case. I think sometimes it can actually because it can lead to you actually having to deal with stuff that normally you can skip by just doing enough damage.
Yeah, but still, it's like inserting.
But
things.
if that's not the case, then yeah, it just makes it tedious.
Yeah, if it's the same attacks, just longer battles, it's like.
Yeah, then it's not good design.
Yeah. See you guys next time for when we finish this dungeon. This is a dungeon that's going into 2 parts!